Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we got a new batch of cards. Those are basically like hinting towards a Soraka coming tomorrow. Then tomorrow I will do my usual analysis video, which is more accurate, synthesize and I also do a script for that. So this is more or like a reaction video, hot thoughts about what I see. So let me know in the comments if you prefer this style of video compared to the usual ones. But anyway, let's try this experiment, the reaction to the video, which we got before today. So yeah, first off, the Landmark of Targon, which is very interesting. Star Spring, 2 mana, landmark of course. Round end, heal damaged allies by 1. Then, once I've seen you heal 22 plus damage from allies, win the game. So this is an alternative win condition like Fiora, which is very fun and interesting. And also, like they said into the Twitter itself, like conflict does not always, triumph does not always come from conflict. So you can actually win the game without ever attacking, for example, which is very interesting. This is very strong, of course, with stuff like Star Shaping, Guiding Touch, and whatever thing we have still to see from Soraka. You can obviously go into Freljord to have stuff like also Friendly Tavern Keeper, which is pretty insane. This does not takes into account lifesteal, because allies, like your Nexus is not one of your allies, so like stuff like lifesteal, or even if you think about it, the Stellacorn or stuff like that, the 5 mana 4/5 heal an ally by 3 and also your Nexus. So those kind of cards don't really synergize well with Star Spring. I guess that maybe Soraka will be more like even your Nexus, it will take it into account. Because if not, the Stellacorn is pretty much like, yeah, okay, the additional fact that you also heal your Nexus is good in terms of like survivability, but other than that, then it doesn't really make that much sense. Also, it is still yet to know if regeneration keyword works with this, like if it is actually a heal. If it is, then it is pretty insane, because even just a Trundle, for example, if it is taking 5 damage, which is a bit too much, of course, this is the dream scenario, in just 4 turns you basically won, but you still need to go into turn 5 at least for that to happen. You could like cheat him with weirding stones and stuff like that, which is still something to take into account. Also, of course, the heal damaged allies by 1 part is pretty interesting. So this could work like in Vladimir exceptionally well. Like Vladimir deals 1 damage to everything of yours. Also, in the meantime, deals damage to the enemy Nexus. He deals yours, and then you heal that back. But of course, if you already have a flipped Vladimir on board, even if it isn't, that's okay. But yeah, having a Vladimir already on board is pretty much a huge commitment. Not a commitment, like you're in a point in the game where you already kind of won, or you are going to win. So, and if you are behind, then playing the Star Spring for that additional win condition doesn't really help. So probably that is not the best deck to fit that in. I could see like in Bilgewater, that could actually work. You run like Tam Kench, which is not that great, as I said in my latest video, but it is a nice way to like stall out the game a bit. They have to have the answer for it. If they are only aggro, then they're pretty much screwed if you don't remove it with Calming Strike or stuff like that. So if you are in Targon and you run Bastion, then Tam Kench is pretty much unremovable and wins you the game. So you stall out the game with that. Also, all the allies, of course, like the Crusty Codger, the Boxtopus, which come into play already damaged. Then with Star Spring you start getting value from turn 2 immediately, which is much more consistent compared to something like a Vladimir, as I said, which comes much later in the game. So you start basically threatening this kind of win condition much earlier in the game. So you need that kind of self-damaging abilities. Of course, it could go into Noxus with all the Crimson Disciple stuff, like the Crimson Awakener, if that's the name. You deal 1 damage to everything, and then Star Spring deals heals everything back, and then you finish things off basically with Vladimir, which of course could work as well. And then the last one is obviously Freljord, with all the heal that already is on Freljord, and like the Catalyst of Eons, but yeah, it doesn't really work with Nexus, as I said, so probably Shadow's Islands, but yeah, still it's Drain, so no. Freljord is more for like the Trundle Regeneration, or even the Troll Ravager, the Hour of the Old Ones, so those are really three interesting archetypes that only this card could make work, or work better than they currently are, like giving them the additional win condition and like the utility of it. So if you think about it, if this just heals for 2, which is kind of doable, then it is already a Guiding Touch, but obviously you need to draw, so it is not really that. So maybe if it deals for, I don't know, 5, then this starts to get a bit more value. Then yeah, I would say that 5 health more on the board is equal to 2 mana. So yeah, it is kind of doable overall in all the game. And then if you are at 5, then you are 1/4 for the like the win condition of this card. And also, if this is a thing, then all decks kind of have to have an answer to landmarks, which we're gonna see later. But yeah, it is kind of meta defining in some sense, but not really, because it is yet to like see how much consistency this archetype will have. It is kind of hard to evaluate it. So for sure, at this point in time, tomorrow I will probably go. We have yet to see Soraka, of course, but right now we'll go for like a 1 out of 5. But we will see tomorrow in more detail. So going on, this was probably the most important, the most interesting card to talk about. So that's why it took so much time. Spring Gifts, 1 mana, fully heal an ally. Okay, so this card is very, very bad, because if this was at least at fast speed, then that would have been okay. Like, it is a way to save a damaged ally from removal, basically. For 1 mana, it is obviously, when you do, it is pretty strong, but it has a pretty huge deck building cost, because of course this does not take into account if your ally is not damaged already. So you have, of course, you want to run this in a self-damaging archetype, but even if you like, let's say the Boxtopus, even if you heal it back to full, you're just giving him +3 health, but not at burst speed, at slow speed. So like, it is on the Boxtopus especially, it is heal 3, which is like an Elixir of Iron +1, but it is at slow speed, and you need exactly that card. You can't like react. I may say, you actually need Boxtopus for this to work, and even in that kind of scenario, your opponent has the priority over you, so you could like ping the Boxtopus before you go with the Spring Gifts, basically denying you 1 mana and the Boxtopus in the same time. And so yeah, this is not meant to be a main deckable card, but yeah, probably a 0 out of 5 in that sense, since you don't want to run this. But then we see the Spring Guardian. A 3 mana 3/3, when I'm summoned, create a Spring Gifts in hand, which is the card that we just saw. So this is actually a bit more interesting, because if you actually want to go all in into your heal, if you want to run like the... what was the name? The Star Fountain. What was the name? I already forgot. The Star Spring, okay. If you want to go all in into the Star Spring synergy, then probably this could fit in. Again, we still have to see Soraka. This is obviously a Soraka synergy card. But yeah, this is much more, how can I say it, much more, it could be more into the meta, I may say. If you compare it to like a Friendly Tavern Keeper, yeah, that's the name, then it is kind of worse, because more often than not, you're not really gonna heal more than 3 to a damaged ally, because, yeah, it needs to be like a 10/10 damaged by 5 or so to actually heal more than 3 or stuff like that, which will come very late in the game. So you could, if there is such a unit which you can deal so much damage to, and then heal it back to full to actually like get a combo from the Star Spring, then of course this will be run as a combo piece. But other than that, comparing it to Friendly Tavern Keeper again, you don't have to spend that 1 more additional mana. That comes at burst speed, basically, that effect. Instead, this comes in 2 actions. One of those is slow, and also if you consider a unit, it's also a slow play, basically, which can't be reacted to, that's right, but it's a slow play. And so yeah, this is more like a combo piece rather than anything like that. So it is probably a 1 out of 5. We still have to see that combo potential taking form, basically. And then we see this last card, which is very, very interesting. Divergent Paths, 3 mana. By the way, this is the axe from the Mountain Sojourners. So the fact that they're saying Divergent Paths mean that if you know a bit about the lore of League of Legends and lore at this point, then you know that Tiari the Traveler is one of the guys involved in that climbing of the mountain, and only Tiari reached the peak, as well as Tariq in a different time, I guess. But yeah, the fact that this says Divergent Paths means that either they still survived, but they just took a different path, or they died because they took a different path from the one that Tiari chose. But anyway, draw a landmark or destroy a landmark. So I love the design on this card, because these can either, of course, be run in a landmark deck to draw your landmark, which, of course, if Star Spring is a thing, to get your win condition, of course you want to run Divergent Paths, because you want to draw that win condition, of course. But even if you already did, or you actually don't need another one, then again you have the destroy a landmark part. So if you are in the mirror or in another landmark deck, then you actually have the option to destroy them. Or anyway, in this card, like they could have 100% have made a card which drew a landmark and a card which destroyed a landmark. But the fact that they gave the same card this kind of ability means that those two cards combined get so much more value and viability, versatility. So yeah, I love this concept of combining two different effects into only one card, because they are kind of, if they were separate, two separate effects, then the draw a landmark one would only be run in a landmark deck which you want to get for the win condition, and the destroy landmark will just be a, how can I say it, there is not such thing as a sideboard in lore, but that would be a sideboard card, basically. Instead, by combining those two mechanics, then this card can be run for both purposes, which will by a lot increase the versatility and the usability of this card. So yeah, a huge fan of this, not the card really, but the concept, the design behind this card. And so yeah, that's it for the cards review today. Again, let me know in the comments if you like more this kind of reaction, hot thoughts, not scripted video, or if you like the more synthesized version, the more detailed, when I actually theorycraft a bit with my head and I write them down in a compact manner, I may say. So yeah, let me know in the comment that. Also, of course, subscribe if you want to watch more of this type of content, so analysis like this one from a Master Tier player, which I am, as well as watching deck guides and gameplay at Master Tier again. Of course, you have to give me time to rank actually to Master, but I reach Master every season basically, so I am a Master player, I may say. And so yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful, and as always, see ya!